So for all those Republicans in Congress criticizing me today for high gas prices in America, are you now saying we were wrong to support Ukraine? Are you saying we were wrong to stand up to Putin? Are you saying that we would rather have lower gas prices in America and Putin's iron fist in Europe? I don't believe that.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw, which was Joe Biden asking some really important questions about gas prices in Russia and Ukraine. Now, before I get to that particular question, I just want to say that this video will address the broader topic of inflation, gas, why it's happening, what Biden wants to do, and a few more things. But let's get back to the question. I guess it was a two-part question. First was, were we wrong to go ahead and support Ukraine in their fight against Russia? I'd say yes, because guess what? That's between Russia and Ukraine. What does that got to do with us? Now, I'm hearing all types of excuses talking about, oh, well, that's the same thing that happened in Nazi Germany. They only invaded one place first, and then they invaded all of Europe. Please, Russia is not really trying to invade Europe. The whole thing with Ukraine is partially our fault. That's the reason why they're being aggressed upon. Because what was the U.S. doing in Ukraine for the past, I don't know how many years? Laundering money, inciting stuff, installing people, meddling in their affairs, when we should just stay out of it. We should stay out of it. So we shouldn't be over there anyway. We shouldn't have been there for the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, and we shouldn't have been there before that. So yes, we were wrong to interfere, the same as we were wrong to interfere with their president and with their businesses and with a few more things that people like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and many more were involved with first. But second, what do you want? The iron fist of Russia and Ukraine or lower gas prices? Well, if that was a real choice, which is not a real choice, but if it was a real choice, hey, man, I need to lower gas prices because check it out. I want everybody to be safe in Ukraine. I want all the innocent civilians, women and children to be safe. But I'm not willing to just spend all my money to make that happen involuntarily. If I want to donate to Ukraine or if I want to go over there and fight for some reason, that's my prerogative to do so. I should be able to choose to do it, not just, okay, I'm making next to no money. I have zero income. Then all of a sudden, I got to be trying to fight with Ukraine. I'm not a fan of that at all. So, yeah, I'll most certainly pick the lower gas prices over trying to, keep Russia out. And Russia is not going to be gone anyway. Russia's still going to do what they're going to do. They took Crimea, and there was no big fanfare, nothing like that went on with that when that happened during the Obama administration, right? And then they took a bunch of more of Ukraine. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. They're trying to blame Ukraine for this whole situation with the gas prices when it's not. Gas, before Putin invaded Ukraine, gas had already gone up $1.50 on average since the inauguration of Joe Biden. And then after him, it went up by like $1. So it had already gone up. It already had an upward trajectory. Why? Because Biden's coming in, canceling oil and gas leases, you're canceling Keystone XL. You're reducing the domestic energy output, while at the same time there's a very high demand. The demand is only rising for this stuff, for fossil fuel, and you're trying to reduce our production. So you're going to have higher prices as a result. People say that, oh, well, the price is not controlled by the president. It's only controlled by international forces. Well, we're part of the international force, number one. And number two, if that's the case, then why is gas almost $8 in California, but closer to $4 or $5 in Tennessee? Obviously, that's not because of international pressure that will make the price almost double from state to state. Clearly, that's internal issues right here in the good old US of A. Now, Biden wants to try to alleviate some of this stuff with the gas by having a gas tax holiday for 3 months, which is the same exact thing that Barack Obama railed against back in 2008. Now, let's watch this clip together, and you're going to see Mr. Obama. This is 2008 when he was still a senator in Illinois trying to become the next president. This is him railing against the gas tax holiday, because he knows, like we all know, it's BS.
I know that we're having a debate right now about the gas tax holiday. I know how brutal this is on folks right now, and I know they need relief, which is why I've offered a middle-class tax cut for every American, $1,000 for working families, so that they can deal not only with rising gas prices, but rising health care costs and rising grocery costs.
We're talking about actual tax cuts that Trump put into place, and they, when I say they, I mean the Democratic Party, now they want to undo those tax cuts. So, but Obama in 2008 is talking about tax cuts rather than the gas tax holiday. You see how much they have changed in their viewpoints towards certain things. Back in 2008 as well, Obama was against gay marriage, also against massive illegal immigration. Democrats supported the border wall, all that kind of stuff. Even Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer all supported the border wall, but now they've done a 180. I wonder why.
But for us to suggest that 30 cents a day for 3 months is real relief, that's a real energy policy, means that we are not tackling the problem that has to be tackled. We are offering gimmicks when we're offering the same thing that John McCain's offering on the cheap. That means we're not presenting a truthful response to the challenges that we face in America. We can do better than that this time.
So he calls it a gimmick. He says you're not getting down to the core of the problem, which you're not, because I think what they say, the federal gas tax, let me come back here for a minute. The federal gas tax as it exists right now will only be about 18 cents. So, all right, you're paying $4.50 for a gallon of gas. So if you take 18 cents away, that's $4.32. So $4.50, $4.32. Is it better? Yeah, a little bit, but you're still paying $4.32. That's still expensive. And then it's not necessarily going to stay right there at $4.32 for the entire summer. It's going to rise because the demand is only increasing. I just saw 1,000 pilots, I think, for Southwest protest because of short staffing and it being overworked and things of that nature. So if you don't have enough airplanes in the sky, how will you get from point A to point B? You got all kind of holidays coming up, vacations coming up. People want to be able to go out and enjoy their life after being quarantined for however long they were quarantined for. So you're going to have gas. The demand for gas is going up, but the production is not going up. So the price is still going to rise. You might be at $4.32 right now, but by the time August gets here, you're going to be at $6, $7. So it won't make a difference. It's just what Obama was saying here. I think part might have got cut off. He was like, all they're doing is a thing to say they've done something, but it's really nothing. Now, here's another clip. Remember when Biden was talking about, whoa, it's Putin, it's Vladimir Putin. He's the reason why inflation is happening. He's the reason why all these gas prices are so high. Well, here you have Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Yes, that Jerome Powell, helicopter, make it rain, Jerome Powell. He's saying that that's not true. Let's check it out. And shout out to my senator, the one and only Bill Haggerty, for posing this question, which got a great answer from Jerome Powell.
Powell, I realize there are a number of factors that play a role in the historic inflation that we're experiencing. Supply chain disruptions, regulations that constrain supply. We've got rising inflation expectations and excessive fiscal spending. But the problem hasn't sprung out of nowhere. And in January of 2021, inflation was at 1.4%. By December of 2021, it had risen to 7%, a five-fold increase. Now, since the war in Ukraine began in late February, the rate of inflation has risen incrementally, another 1.6%, to a current level of 8.6%. So again, from 7% to 8.6%. Given how inflation has escalated over the past 18 months, would you say that the war in Ukraine is the primary driver of inflation in America?
No, inflation was high before, certainly before the war in Ukraine broke out.
I'm glad to hear you say that. The Biden administration seems to be intent on deflecting blame, and as recently as just this past Sunday, spread the misinformation that Putin's invasion of Ukraine is the, quote, biggest single driver of inflation. I'm glad you agree with me that that is not the truth.
Again, shout out to my man Bill Haggerty, Senator Bill Haggerty from Tennessee, for asking the question. And shout out to Jerome Powell for answering it honestly, because a lot of these people on the left, people that are aligned with the Democrats, I'm not saying Jerome Powell is necessarily a Democrat. I'm not really sure exactly what he is. Probably more of a leftist, but it doesn't really matter. I just like the fact that he was just being honest and said that it was rising before. And of course it was. And what was the reason why inflation was rising before the Ukraine kerfuffle? Well, all the money printing, you keep printing all these stimulus checks and you keep doing all these things, all this printing and spending, that's going to cause inflation. You see, when you just keep, I think what they said, like 80% of the dollars in circulation were printed in a year, that's going to cause inflation. You have so much money out there in people's pockets and they want to buy things. The PlayStation 5 situation, nobody could get a PlayStation 5. Nobody could get a graphics card. A lot of things, there's a supply chain shortage, but there's also people just having so much money, they're buying up all the supply of what's available. If not for all the free money floating around, there would not be a run on the supply. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Jerome Powell and everyone else out there in some kind of way linked to the federal government for being honest about what's going on. Okay, this is not the Vladimir Putin price hike for inflation just by buying food, clothing, shelter. It's not him, nor is he the reason for the gas increase. And really, they want to blame Vladimir Putin, but the only reason why that has affected U.S. gas prices at all is because we refuse to import Russian gas. So it's not him, it's us. We are, as a country, saying we want to support Ukraine so much, we're just going to make prices higher for the average everyday citizen. Russia will be fine because they have the gas, people need it. Okay, they're trying to back off of Russian gas in Europe, but they can't. I think in Germany, they tried to go to nuclear, and that wasn't working out too well. Hydroelectric, that wasn't working out too well. So what are they doing? Going right back to coal, right back to natural gas. Same thing that they were talking about not trying to do. They're trying to go green. They're trying to get away from Russia, but they can't. Same thing with Poland. I think they even said it, and they admitted it. They were like, hey, we try to get away from Russian natural gas, but meanwhile, all that did was just make it more difficult for the average Polish person to fire up their gas-powered stove. Okay, we just got to stop doing things that hurt the American citizenry because of politics and do things that are going to help us, because politics should be about the American people, not about your geopolitical aspirations and your career as a politician in the future. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here with this inflation stuff, the high gas prices? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. What do you think is a more pressing issue? Is it January 6th or high gas? Like if I went out on the street and did a poll of average people, black, white, Puerto Rican, Kenyan type, and they said, hey, what's more important to you? January 6th, high gas. What do you think it'll be, like as far as a percentage? How many will vote for January 6th? How many will vote for high gas prices? But you guys know where I'm at. I think that the Biden administration are running out of excuses, and it's to the point where the administration itself can't even excuse it. Jerome Powell can't even excuse it. Nobody can really excuse it truthfully, because the American people see what's going on, and we don't want to hear the nonsense, the lies, or the excuses anymore. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.